Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the first of our series of Working with Medicare Center. Today, we're going to be joined by Luke Hockaday. A lot of you are used to seeing John Hockaday sitting there. I think I can clearly say that we got the younger of the two. Is that a good way to put it?
And better looking.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, I'll let you say that. Luke runs Medicare Allies here for us and does an exceptional job. And I know today's focus on our webinar is going to be with the scope of appointment tool as well as the CRM tool. Luke utilizes these things on a very regular basis, and we're going to pick his brain and talk about it a little bit. Also with us today is Jason Ferguson, who usually sits behind there, but we're going to include him today because involved with all of this, we're going to be juggling some technology because we want to show our clients out there or our brokers out there exactly what you're going to see when you send a text on a scope of appointment. And we also want you to see what your client is going to be receiving. We're going to fill it out on both ends where you're going to be able to see this whole process go full circle. So tell me, Luke, has it really made a difference? I remember you and I talking during AEP how much the Medicare Center made a difference to you. Expand a little bit for our audience here today.
You know, we're going to go over it today, but the biggie is sending the scope of appointment. So everything that we do is remote. And I know, during this last AP, a lot of our brokers have started going remote just with COVID and everything. So before, when we did scopes, we had to physically mail the scope, then fill it out, send it back, figure out what exactly we're going to talk about, send an application, send it back, and everything was just so slow. And especially during AP, time is money, and so having this system now really allows us, one, to stay organized, and two, just expedites and speeds up our processes.
We have a number of brokers that utilize Medicare Center, and when we spend a little bit of time picking their brain and talking to them, they are coming to see the benefits of this more and more on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So now that we're past AEP, do you find it being much of an asset even through regular sales as well?
It is. Before too, we had, you had company A, I would have set favorites,
Yep.
Company A, B, C, D, all of our different carriers up there. And now we can utilize this platform as one login. So I just have to remember one username, one password, and then I get to everything, and then it branches out to their portal. So it's really been a game changer.
Yeah, your dad and I have talked extensively when we're on these webinar scenarios that New Horizons and Integrity are working diligently at trying to provide as much as we can. When it comes to an economies of scale, time is money. You mentioned those three magic words. And so if we can show you, like during AEP, our brokers out there, how you can see 12 people as opposed to 8, 16 people as opposed to 12, then we think that we've done our job. I often look at this as a shared responsibility that we've got as an FMO with our brokers at trying to make them as efficiently as we possibly can. So this is just one avenue that we're starting with. So we've talked about this, but in your mind's eye, can you give us a little bit of synopsis about the overall general picture of just what is Medicare Center? It's a complete platform.
It is, and it's really, it has different areas of it, but really for Medicare Advantage, prescription drug plan, it's a turnkey platform that all the brokers can use.
One-stop shopping. In other words, I can log into Medicare Center and I literally have all my tools available right there.
Yes.
I can get an application.
You can get an application. You can send a scope. It has a client management system. Compare all the plans. Look at every plan's details. With their all of it.
So basically, from a 10,000-foot view, it's the entire package, and we're going to take a look at a couple different pieces today: the scope of appointment and the CRM tool. The scopes, plan comparisons, it's a quoting tool, enrollment tools, a universal login, and a CRM. Today, we're going to master simply how to text a scope of appointment. I think we're going to try to get through an email portion as well, and then how to utilize the CRM. Go ahead here, Luke, and tell us a little bit. When we log in to this client management tool, this is what we see: name, application status, phone number, any follow-up notes. Do you utilize this?
Yes. We do. So Medicare Center itself has a CRM tool that we're going to talk about today, and then each platform in Medicare Center. So there's Medicare app and Medicare Link, and each of them have a CRM tool as well. So we're going to go over it. I mean, it is. Having everybody, not having a file cabinet of, Mrs. Smith and, thinking about what does she have and what do I need to do as far as tasks and everything. Everything is just right there.
Medicare app and Medicare Link do the same thing. It's like Pepsi Coke. It's just two different.
It is. So when Integrity kind of, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong here, but when Integrity kind of purchased this platform or created it or made it, there was two different businesses that did it. And so one they call Medicare app, the other they call Medicare Link. They both do a lot of the same things. For the purposes today, since we don't have all sorts of time, we're just going to go over Medicare app. I think that's what most of our agents are using, but they both do a lot of the same things.
When it comes to the CRM, this tool really doesn't replace a complex CRM such as Agency Block, but it gives us all the tools that we need to function through the AEP and through a Med Advantage or PDP.
A lot like us here, our agents on our captive side, Sam's Hockaday, we use Agency Block as our CRM, and that's still, it's still needed. It's a lot more powerful right now, does a lot more things, but for the guy who, I see some names on here that are listening, guys that don't have any sort of CRM, that are still using their file cabinet, still using their, maybe a guy is really fancy and using an Excel spreadsheet. This is going to be better than that.
It's a good segue.
It is.
From the file cabinet to an electronic format where I can keep track of my people.
It is.
Okay. And just, I think it's worth pointing out that we should define CRM. That's just a customer relationship manager. And it's just a software tool that lets you put all your customers in one place. So if anybody's new to this and hasn't heard that terminology, CRM is just customer relationship manager.
Thank you.
I think this is a great time to talk a little bit about exactly what your day starts like, because I want everybody here to understand that when you walk into your office, what's that look like? We've got an assistant. We've got many brokers out there that may have an assistant and may want to copy a little bit about what we do. So when you take this tool, what does your day start like?
Well, it always starts with coffee with Kurt.
Okay, I get that.
But after that, just taking it through like in the AEP, we try to schedule our appointments. My appointments are every half hour. Okay, and so kind of what I do, what it looks like is I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to Mrs. Jones. If we're talking about PDP, MA, or whatever, I'm texting the scope of appointment to her, helping her fill it out. It's coming back. And then we're just talking about plans. Once we figure out what we're doing, I do have a licensed helper who is way more than a helper. Once
we all know that.
Yes. Once we figure out what the plan is, it's going to her. She's completing the application, and then I'm on to the next one.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
So when you're taking a look at your day, if you want to sit there and block out 30 minutes, if you've got an efficient assistant like Luke has got, and I'm sure all of us do, this is going to be, so you actually ship that client out there for the application to be filled out, uploaded, and sent off to the carrier. You're working on the next one. You're getting through, again, the scope of appointment. It's coming back. You're discussing plans, coming to a conclusion. And then Sarah is right there that we can hand off the second one. So this is what the day looks like when you walk in and want to schedule 8, 8:30, 9 on throughout the day. So this is exactly the tool that you can do the exact same thing with your book of business.
Yeah. And there's, because we've done it before. I've been doing this, since 2011, not near as long as a lot of you guys, but I couldn't schedule appointments every half hour without having some sort of tool like this.
Yeah, the mail would come back in with the scopes, and now you can make second phone calls and third phone calls.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so all this has been summed up. We were on a call yesterday. I can't get into the gist of it, but there was a survey done between December 7th and December 20th. In it spoke about a couple of things that knocked me over. DEFT is the name of the survey company, and they do it for Medicare. almost 30% of the people that bought during AEP totally eliminated the agent. A high percentage of the 70% utilized a digital format to buy their product. So those agent face-to-face meetings are really, I don't want to say they're becoming like a dinosaur, because there's a lot of people out there that still like that face-to-face. But I think with COVID and some of the advances that the digital formats have made, it is going to become more imperative for us as brokers, us as FMOs, to become very familiar with these efforts, like a scope of appointment that's set by text, that's set by email, that we can take care of everything in one phone call, as opposed to utilizing the mail service. So I think it's vitally important that we all learn a little bit about how to manage this digital process.
And all that is true. Even when you are sitting with somebody, I still am going to use this system.
Yeah.
Because everything's so much faster. I mean, even it's boom, boom, and you're on. So
exactly correct.
Even if you are sitting eyeball to eyeball with them.
Can you print a scope of appointment from this?
Absolutely.
Have them sign. Okay, so we
it's
can
a compliant generic scope.
Yep. Okay, Jason. So compliantly, we text clients from start to finish. We're going to go through that here in just a minute. It's a simple text, handles the review, handles the signing. It hardly seems like an inconvenience to the client. Have you seen any? How's the client reception with this?
It's I think with the scope, you can text or email. What I think we found out during, especially this last AEP, is almost everybody, not everybody, but almost everybody has the capability to text.
Grandparents are touching base with their grandsons, granddaughters.
They're used to, FaceTiming or whatever the case is. So they have some sort of smart device. And we're going to go through it today. So you're going to see how truly easy it is. But you are going to have that outlier who really needs a lot of hand holding, but for the most part, it really is a breeze. Super.
Okay. Well, give us a little tour. Show us what it looks like when we start. Now, when we walk in, do we have, is it like the New Horizons marketing? Do we have New Horizons marketing up there? Is that where we access all of this?
Yeah. So we'll start.
Okay,
I got right here on our website. So our website is New Horizons, MKTG, the abbreviation for marketing.com. So we go here and we made it real easy. So right here, we made it easy. Right here on the home screen, if we click Medicare Center, that's going to take us right here. And if we scroll down, you log in to Medicare Center.
Right there, it says it right there.
Right here, okay? And that's going to take you right where you need to get. I'm already logged in, but it's going to have a username and password. If it's the first time registering, you're going to be able to do that. The username is typically just your MPN number, and then it'll have you create a password. But whenever you get in here into this system, really we got 3 buttons here, okay? And then along with Learning Center. So the Learning Center, if you want to dive a little bit deeper into how this works, and it's also got some other little helpful tips you can get down here in the Learning Center.
Sure.
For our purposes today, first we're gonna act like we're talking with Ms. Jones, and it's AEP, and we're gonna talk Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plan.
So we got Mr. Ferguson right there that's playing.
And we got Mr. Ferguson. So again, this is where within Medicare Center, this is your example of Pepsi and Coke,
right?
Kind of the 2 platforms that you can go. Today we're gonna go over Medicare app. I think most of our agents use it.
That's what I found as well. Most people like that Medicare app.
Yeah, I think right now it has a few more carriers than Medicare Link. So we're going to go over that.
And a broker can stay there. Just he doesn't have to access Medicare Link ever if he chooses Medicare
Absolutely.
app.
You can use both, all, none, or some.
Okay, so there you go, folks. You can, as just a little further example of how flexible this product is, when it comes to that Medicare Advantage piece, the Medicare app or the Medicare Link, either way.
Right. So, me specifically, this is really the CRM tool that I use. So I have a few dummy accounts in here. Right here is the search beneficiary. So you can search your entire platform. If you've done, 20 enrollments or whatever, all 20 of them are going to be in here. They're going to save. So let's just look at one, and so you'll be able to see the information that's in here. So I put Jason here already in here. So we'll just search by his last name, search profile, and then we click on it here. Okay, so we're gonna have access to everything that has a red asterisk is what you need.
Okay.
You got to have that in there. Okay, so zip code, first name, last name, and then every other additional information in here, you're just really building a profile of that person. So obviously the more information we have in here, the better. But specifically, like when I'm doing one, I'm gonna have the zip code, name, and phone number. That's what we always have, just so I can scope. But in here, you can add notes. So if I am talking to, Jason or whatever, and, he says, I am kind of silly. And I in the notes section, I talk about, Mrs. Jones has 3 grandkids and these are their names and it's important to her and she likes to garden or whatever. So I'll put that in the notes section here. So whenever I'm talking to Mrs. Jones, I can say, tell me about your grandson, Jason.
It's all important stuff.
Yeah, and it is. So, and then it also has this task function. So if, if I need to send Jason something or whatever the case is, I can add a task in here on the due date, what I need to do, and then it will remind me.
Does your assistant give access to your tasks as well?
Well, to be honest, she's the one that really uses that. So she's going to use that. So if we have the policy mailed here, or she's going to task herself to check on a policy or whatever the case is. So,
yeah. So when you hand it to her, you physically hand it to her, you let her, and you're on to the next one. Okay.
I'm on to the
I
next
got you.
Absolutely. So in here, you can, put in their Medicare information, Part A, Part B, effective date, current plan, if they have any. It'll also save quotes. Okay. So if I send, this guy, Jason, a quote, and he hasn't acted on it, but I'm able to send it to him, it'll show right here at the bottom. So whenever I log in, I can say, okay, what have we talked about? Well, I've sent him this quote. Okay. If we've done an enrollment, but we're waiting on something, it'll be right there. If we completed an enrollment, it'll show right there. So it'll show what actual coverage he has.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So, I know we're kind of running into the time here. So let's just do a scope. Let's do a scope. So
send it to him.
Okay. Well, we're going to start here. The first thing I do, if they're not in our CRM tool, I'm going to build a profile. So I'm going to click here on new profile. And then this is what's going to pop up. So we're going to say, we'll just do our zip code here. And we're going to say, we'll just say Linda Smith. Okay. And I'm going to use Jason's phone number. So if you guys need to get a hold of Jason, you're going to be thankful for that. So we're going to go down here. Again, this is all we need. Okay. And then, so I'm going to scroll down here and then continue to SOA. So that's the scope of appointment.
Yep.
Okay. So again, the only thing that I have in here is zip code, name, and phone number. Okay. So we're going to continue to the SOA. You can see here the number already transferred over. Okay. So we're talking is okay. I'm going to stop the presentation and say, okay, Linda, for me to, really be able to talk to you about this stuff, we need to get this SOA completed. So all I do is click text SOA. So it'll pop up here. It'll say text sent to Linda. I'm going to say, okay, Linda, let me know whenever a text message pops up, and I'm going to say, click the blue link.
Okay. Linda Smith here. Hi, guys. So I've got the text message. Hopefully you can see that on your screen. And I'll click the link. That's going to jump over to a web browser where it loads the form. And so I'm on the phone with Luke. He tells me, just check everything. So we're going to go standalone MAPD, we're going to do MA plans, Med Sup. Oops. Okay, I got them all. So I go down to the scroll down farther, and I'm going to put in my own info. Wait, I forgot I'm Linda.
So really, what we need completed by Linda is just everything with the red asterisk. So we're gonna do the beneficiary's name, her address,
And let's just leave it at that. I'm the authorized representative. Oh, no, sorry. And by checking this box, I've read everything. You have proof right here. I read all of that. And then at the bottom, I'll click Submit Form. Oh, forgot my address. Okay. And
I think you forgot one more. There you go,
state.
state.
This is good,
Jason,
because you'll have to help your clients do this possibly. Okay, now we'll hit Submit Form at the bottom.
Okay.
And there we go. So now I'm going to switch back over to Luke.
So it's going to come in here. I'm going to say, okay, Linda, let me know when you submitted it. Okay. And then all we do is just refresh our screen. Okay. And it's going to say, Linda completed this.
You got to share your screen.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
There we go.
Sorry about that. Okay, so what it would say, I don't know if you guys were able to catch that, but it'll say Linda Smith completed the application. In order to get that, I just refresh my screen. So once my screen's refreshed, it's going to say she completed the application, and I'm allowed to talk about, whatever we did. So then it's going to come down. Okay, now the agent, I need to complete the rest. So we just click Complete Form. Okay, this is under, initial method of contact. We're just going to say it was on the phone. We're going to say today, I'm going to talk about MAPD. And then I check the box, submit broker form, and bada bing, bada boom, my scope of appointment is completed. So that's really all there is to it. And then we're on to plans.
So with all this screen sharing, it still took less than 5 minutes for us to get this done. So in real life, I see this happening in maybe 3 or 4 minutes tops.
Yeah, once we got in the groove of things
Right.
we're completing scopes in less than 2 minutes.
Less than 2 minutes. That's absolutely fabulous. Do we have time to do an email version of this, guys, or at least to show them where we go to get the email version of this, Jason?
Sure, and it's right there. We're on that same screen. So where it says email address, you or whoever's filling this out would put in the email address, and yeah, we can go ahead and do it.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna. So we're gonna say, okay.
So if I don't text, but I've got email.
Yep.
Then Linda can give us the email address.
Absolutely.
Put it there, and it just looks the same. Though. We've talked about
it's
this.
Going to look identical.
All right.
If worse comes to worse, and they don't have email, they don't have a smartphone, MedicareCENTER still makes it easy. Right here where it says print consumer form, I can click that link. It's going to, again, pull up a compliant generic scope of appointment that I can have that, I can snail mail her if we need to. So
let's take a few questions, I think, at this time. Are we pretty much at the spot where we can take some questions?
I think we've only got 3 minutes or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just switch over and make sure we covered everything. I think we have. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions. When I try to sign up for MedicareCENTER, it says NPN cannot be located. And that is going to depend on whether or not you are an appointed agent through New Horizons or one of Integrity's partners. If you're in the contracting process, that may not have happened just yet. If you are appointed, just get in touch with us and we'll try to push that through.
You see my number or Luke's number, but reach out to either one of us and we can help you through that process in a rather quick, short order. This is a required, what's that say now?
Required form to sell MA. I think that was on the scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is required.
It is required, absolutely. Anytime you start talking about PDP plans, which you are licensed to sell, where you can make a commission, whether it's an MA product or a PDP plan, you need to cover that base with a scope of appointment. It is a requirement.
Okay, Jeremy asks, can we download or print a copy of the SOA? And yes, we did touch on that briefly, but if your client does not want or can't receive texts or emails, you can certainly download and print a copy of that and mail it to them.
Ann's got a great question here. Is the scope held in the system for 10 years, or can I print? I would suggest doing both. I would print one, and I would keep one inside the file. Whether the Medicare Center is compliant with it, keeps it for 10 years, I imagine it does, but I don't remember that being asked and answered.
I'm not positive either. We can get back to
And
you.
we'll get back to you on that piece, but I would print one regardless.
Or at a minimum, save a PDF. You know, if you don't want to use your printer ink, you know, you can download them as well, but we'll get you a firm answer, no doubt.
Am I still sharing my screen?
No.
Okay, let me share. Because I see the next one. It's a great question. Let's see here. Okay, so the question was, where does it form after completion, or where does it save after completion? If we go up to this person, okay, we're talking about Linda, and we click on scope of appointment, okay, it's going to go to, well,
and I think since we're already on that page, it wasn't loading
in there.
Yeah, so try it again.
Okay. Let's see, Linda, scope of appointment.
Yeah, it's right up there. It says view. Over to the right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right here. So it'll save under her, in her profile within the CRM tool. But it'll be everything that she filled out here, and then also the agent's completed form.
So yeah, so that kind of addresses that previous question about being saved in the system. If you want to download a copy of that PDF to your own computer, by all means do that.
Okay.
Okay, so the generic SOA will work for every carrier.
Yeah, if it's inside Medicare Center, that scope of appointment will be operable.
Okay, how long do we store the scopes?
Well, the law says 10 years. And Marin, we're going to find out and make sure this system does store it for 10 years. I don't remember that being asked and answered specifically about that here. I know we got a place to store it, and I know we got a place that we can print it. I would always print a scope and put that paper copy in with your copy of your client's file, that you'll always have access to that irregardless.
Okay, Robert, new agent here. This was awesome. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Robert. You're the reason we're here.
How do you save the text conversation for compliance purposes?
Jason sounds like a financial guy. He is. The actual text conversation? I don't know.
I don't think it's really a conversation. It's simply that you sent them a link.
Right. And that link, that scope of appointment, Jason, that gets sent, it looks just like every other scope of appointment. It's not going to have any conversation where you're writing and talking to the client. So that's going to be the same regardless of who you send that to. The printed version is going to look just exactly like every other scope of appointment that's utilized in the marketplace. So it's not like we're carrying on a conversation or not, where it could be different verbiage inside there. So it's going to be the same going out, the same coming back. It will store the same as every other generic scope of appointment, as well as being able to print. That's what we showed you just a little bit earlier, was what it looked like in a printed version.
Okay, Zach, how do you attach the SOA with an application?
We'll get into that when we go into the when we continue the plans, but whenever you submit a plan, your scope will.
So we're going to cover that in a later webinar.
Yeah,
okay, so we're going to cover that a little bit later, Zach.
Can you sign up for Lasso MSA through MedicareCENTER?
You cannot. Lasso is one of the very few products that are not available in the Medicare Center yet. So let's put it like that.
When do I contract with MAPD carriers?
Mark, the contracting product can happen 12 months a year. In fact, even though AEP is over with, I still have brokers that are deciding to sell Medicare Advantage and still want to sell during 2021. So I literally can take you through the AHIP process. I can get you certified with the carriers, ready to sell probably within 30 to not much more than 30 days. And we can do that every year. About June, when the new AHIP comes out for the following year, they'll usually shut down the current plans for any certification for 2021, simply because if I contract or if I certify for the 2022, it will cover anything that I sell in 2021 as well.
Okay, Larry, can I capture all of my clients that I have plugged into Medicare app? Do you know that one?
I'm not sure if I follow.
If I understand that correctly, you're asking that once you have, let's say you've got 100 clients in there, can you get them back out? If that's what you mean, Larry, I was looking for this the other day and I didn't see a way at the moment to download them out of the system, but I know we can get them out. I think that's probably just one of the many minor upgrades.
Catch-up functions, yeah, the catch-up functions that they're putting together.
This thing's being worked on all the time. Gina, hey Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Has the requirement to keep paper copies of SOAs in general gone away?
No, there's still a requirement. The 10-year requirement, Gina, is still there. Now, paper copies, I always like to have a paper copy. I'm a paper guy. I've been in the business for 35 years, and so I'm a paper guy. But the younger generation coming up, and even maybe you, we can do this digitally as well, store them digitally. We've got another integrity partner, CSG, has got an electronic scope of appointment that can store them for 10 years. And again, we simply haven't asked and answered the question about the Medicare Center, but I would bet a lot of money that this product holds your scope of appointment for the appropriate amount of time. We're going to come back to everybody on that one, Gina.
What about signatures?
Well, the signatures basically are whenever the person is filling out and printing their name, it will be basically considered their signature.
Yep.
And even coming back when we get into the program about how we fill out applications, you'll see the very same process utilized there as well. It serves as their signature.
Okay, Scott asks, do you need to complete this form on every appointment with the same customer when talking about MA and PDP? How long is this good?
That's a good question, because it is a limited time frame in which when they sign that, in some instances it's good for 14 days, and there are some scenarios, Scott, when it could be slightly less than that. And so let me look into that and get back to you. My mind is just slipping right now on some of those different time frames, but it's about a 14-day window that you've got to utilize that scope for that appointment.
Okay, any other questions, guys? Jump in if you like.
Keep asking your questions, but we really hope you found this to be valuable. You're going to find this on our website. We're going to probably cull the questions out of this, where the presentation will be just several minutes long, but a place that if you need to research anything 30 days from now, if you forgot how to do something, hopefully you'll be able to reach in there and find out exactly how to go. And
if you guys do have any sort of questions, feel free, call us, call me, call Steve, anybody. We're here to help. And you know, if you're not in the Medicare Advantage space, we want to help get you there.
And I want to get to Rebecca Parr inside our compliance side of the equation. It just shared something very, very important, Scott, and this is always true. If a second meeting takes place, a new scope is required. So even if you're inside that 14-day window, if you talk to a client and you're done, that scope is considered to be done. So if you go back in a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, you're going to be required to cover your tracks there with a new scope of appointment. Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Scott, for a great question.
Are you able to get paid on bonus paid to agents from different companies? Like some companies offer $50 for apps sent on the web.
Absolutely, absolutely. We run bonus programs all the time. In fact, we had an AEP bonus with a couple of different plans, I think Humana and United Healthcare. Because of the rapid disenrollment feature that people can get out during OEP, bonuses typically are paid from AEP sometime in April, okay? Because again, January, February, March, rapid disenrollment with OEP, they're not going to pay a bonus on one of those. So anything that's on the books as far as April 1st, we pay bonuses on. And so the answer is yes. And we run bonus programs throughout the course of the year. So call us, we'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, be sure to check our website too. Right at the top, we have an incentives tab, and that lists just about everything. There may be a few missing in there, but we try to keep that up to date.
I love Rebecca. She's saying also, she wants us to mention that there's new MA marketing stuff or materials that we have released this week. I know that we've just got another letter approved. We had some, we go to 2 different compliant organizations to make sure that we're compliant. These are generic letters to the aging in population, not specific to any one company, not specific to any one plan, not specific to anybody that's got a current MA. We can market 12 months a year to the aging in beneficiary. And so to drive your business to become more valuable to you, we're developing a whole marketing plan that includes not only MedicareCENTER, but how do I get my phone to ring? And then Rebecca's developing some wonderful, wonderful products out there for us to use.
All right, last of all, did I understand correctly? A client must decide on a drug plan in 14 days or need a new scope.
And these scopes do have a time frame to them. And I tell you what, before I start jumping off, I know that the scope typically is a 14-day window. I am going to, when we get into our next webinar, I'm going to have one of our PowerPoints will have a list of all the time frames related to the scope of appointment and how long they're good for. Okay, but the answer is yes. They don't want to get stale, is my point there.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out afterward.
Thanks, everybody, from Luke and I and Jason. Thank you very much.
Thank you.